No one in the galaxy expected anything unusual that day. Trade stations were busy, patrol ships were relaxed, and every star system was calm. But everything changed when one small exploration vessel picked up a strange signal, weak, old, and buried under layers of cosmic dust. The crew thought it was just debris, maybe an abandoned mining rig. But the deeper they scanned, the more impossible it became. It was not debris. It was a starship, a Class 3 Deathworld-class vessel. The ship was massive, silent, and colder than space itself. No empire had the courage to build something like this. Not anymore. Only one ancient species was known for such designs. Humans. Deathworlders. The species everyone believed was extinct. The explorers stared at their screens, scared and curious at the same time. The captain ordered a slow approach, engines humming softly as the unknown vessel grew larger and larger. Its hull was dark metal, covered in old battle scars. Weapons still attached, armor unbroken, like a sleeping giant waiting to open its eyes. If humans are inside, we are not ready, a navigator whispered, but curiosity defeated fear. A boarding team suited up. Their shuttle docked against the dead warship with a deep metallic clang. Inside, corridors were silent. No movement, no voices, only the cold echo of footsteps on steel. Ancient flags hung torn, lights flickered like ghosts. Then the discovery hit them like thunder. Life signs, hundreds of them, all human, not dead, not extinct, sleeping in cryo chambers, armed, armored, waiting for the moment to wake. The team froze because they knew one truth. If humans returned, the galaxy would tremble again. The explorers stood frozen, staring through the glass wall of the cryo bay. Rows of capsules stretched across the massive chamber, each holding a human warrior. Their armor was old but terrifying. Heavy plates, reinforced joints, sharp edges meant for war, not peace. Even in sleep, they looked dangerous. No one breathed. No one moved. One mistake could change history. The captain whispered through the calm, voice shaking but controlled. Do not touch anything. Scan only. Scanners activated with a soft hum, and suddenly the entire chamber responded. Lights flickered. Engines rumbled deep within the ship, like a heart restarting after centuries. A sound echoed through the hall, slow, mechanical, alive. Cryosystems were rebooting themselves. The humans were waking up. Panic rushed through the boarding team. They backed away, weapons ready but shaking. The galaxy had feared humans for ages. Stories spoke of planets burning, fleets falling, and enemies never returning. If even one human woke hostile, no one inside the ship would survive. The first cryopod released a cold burst of air. A man opened his eyes. No alien had ever felt fear like in that moment. His gaze was sharp, intelligent, trained, not confused but aware. He stepped out, his boots heavy on steel, ancient armor clinging to him like a second skin. He looked at the explorers, not surprised, like he knew they would come. He spoke one sentence, voice deep and calm. How long has it been? No one answered. More pods opened. More humans woke. The ship was alive again, and the explorers realized their mistake. They had not found a relic. They had found an army, and it was rising. The galaxy's nightmare had just begun. The boarding team stood cornered by destiny. Humans, real humans, stood before them, alive after centuries, maybe millennia. Their movements were slow but controlled, like soldiers trained for war from birth. The leader, the first one to wake, scanned the chamber with sharp eyes, absorbing every detail like a hunter spotting prey. The explorers wanted to speak, to explain, to escape, but fear locked their voices. More humans stepped out of their pods. Some were taller, some armored heavier, some carrying weapons that looked older than most civilizations. Yet every one of them had the same expression, focused, calm, dangerous. The captain finally forced his words out. We found your ship. We thought you were extinct. The human leader raised an eyebrow, almost amused. Extinct? No, we were waiting. His voice echoed through the hall like cold thunder. The meaning was clear. Humans had not disappeared. They had simply slept, preparing for something greater. But what? The humans didn't attack. They didn't threaten. Instead, they requested access to galactic records. They wanted to know what age they had awakened into, what powers ruled now, and whether Earth still existed. That question stunned every explorer. They expected humans to know. But this crew was ancient, from a time before modern star maps, before the Council, before peace. A human engineer touched the wall panel, and the warship responded instantly. Engines hummed, shields flickered to life, and the entire vessel shook like a beast stretching after a long hibernation. The explorer's shuttle, still docked to the hull, was now trapped. No escape, no safe distance, no turning back. The humans had regained control, and the galaxy was about to learn what Deathworlders really were. The ancient warship began to awaken section by section, engines pulsing like a heartbeat, lights crawling across dark corridors, reactor cores roaring to full power after ages of silence. The explorers felt the deck vibrate beneath their feet. This was no derelict ship anymore. It was alive and preparing for something. The human leader issued his first command. Access long-range communications. Send a scan pulse. A young human officer obeyed, fingers gliding across controls with practiced ease. In seconds, a burst of energy shot across space, powerful enough to reach half the galaxy. Every listening post, every military satellite, every deep space sensor felt it. Civilizations watching the void suddenly froze, because the signature was unmistakable. Deathworld technology. Human origin. Class 3 warship active. Panic spread like wildfire. The Galactic Council called emergency meetings. Admirals demanded fleets be mobilized. News networks broadcast warnings across thousands of systems. Species who once thought humans were myth suddenly remembered old stories. Stories of war, of burned worlds, of fleets that returned as dust. But the humans did not prepare for conquest. Not yet. First, they freed the explorers. The boarding team was escorted to their shuttle, still terrified, but now under protection instead of threat. The human leader spoke deliberately, with calm authority. Go. Tell your council the truth. Humanity is awake. We are returning. The explorers fled, engines screaming as they raced toward their home systems. Every second, more governments received the signal. Some prepared armies. Others prepared diplomacy. None felt safe. Meanwhile, inside the warship, thousands of cryo chambers were still unopened. More humans stirred. More warriors woke. This vessel was not simply a ship. It was a seed of an empire, one ready to rise again. The galaxy could no longer pretend humans were gone. They were back, and they were not alone. The Galactic Council gathered inside their grand chamber. 11 species, 12 factions, one growing fear. The hologram of the human warship hovered above them like a shadow across destiny. Every leader watched in silence, remembering ancient warnings. If humanity returns, worlds will shake. The explorers who survived stood before them as witnesses. Their voices were steady, but their eyes still carried the terror of what they had seen. They are alive, one explorer reported. Not weak, not confused. Prepared. The council whispered like frightened animals. Some wanted peace. Others wanted war. A few demanded immediate extermination before humans rebuilt. But no decision could calm the rising fear across star systems. Millions believed war was inevitable. In panic, the council made a choice they would regret forever. They sent a fleet, not to talk, not to negotiate, but to block the human vessel, and if needed, destroy it. Hundreds of battleships warped into position, surrounding the ancient warship like wolves circling a lion. Their weapons charged, shields raised, commanders trembling at the thought of firing first. Inside the human vessel, alarms activated, not in fear, but in readiness. Humans gathered on the command bridge, now fully awake and armed. Armor glowed with old yet terrifying power, systems synced with their heartbeats like living steel. The leader observed the surrounding fleet through a calm, steady gaze. They come afraid, he said quietly. Then they remember us correctly, another replied. The ship's core flared to life, not preparing to flee, but to stand. The humans sent one final transmission to the council fleet. Do not approach. We do not start wars, but we finish them. The message echoed through space like thunder before a storm. The galaxy was seconds from its first decision. Talk, or trigger extinction. The council fleet hovered in silence, weapons hot, fingers trembling over fire controls. One command could unleash a war no species was ready to survive. Across every capital world, civilians watched screens with frozen hearts. History was waiting for someone to breathe first. Inside the old warship, the humans stood united, calm, unshaken, deadly. No fear, no weakness, only purpose. The leader raised his hand, and every system obeyed. Shields formed like burning auroras. Engines roared with star-core heat, and ancient weapons powered up with a sound like planets cracking. Still, the humans did not attack. They waited. They gave the galaxy a chance to choose. But fear makes fools of empires. A nervous commander, young, untested, terrified, fired a single shot. A bright beam crossed space like lightning and hit the human vessel dead center. It did nothing. Then the galaxy learned why humans were called Deathworlders. The warship responded with one controlled burst, not a barrage, not an annihilation, one precise shot. It crossed the battlefield faster than thought. The firing cruiser shattered like glass. No debris, no survivors, only silence. The fleet broke. Ships scattered, commanders panicked, entire formations collapsed. They came as conquerors, they fled like animals. And the humans did not chase. They only watched them run. Humanity had returned, and they were powerful enough to burn systems to dust, yet they chose restraint. That terrified the galaxy more than war ever could. The leader sent one last broadcast. We are not here to destroy. We are here to reclaim what was ours. Billions heard it. Millions trembled. Armies prepared. Borders shifted. A new age began that day. The age of humans. The galaxy was no longer dominant, only living in borrowed time.